19. Well, many matriculants will be looking forward to starting the next phase of their academic studies and their lives. Some students may need to find alternative pathways to find suitable qualifications. Students can feel a bit overwhelmed when choosing between a higher certificate, a diploma or degree. To help us understand how parents and guardians and graduates themselves can choose qualifications for tertiary studies, joined by Ari Katz, CEO of the Boston City Campus Group. For further insights, Ari, welcome to SA Today on SABC News Channel. Let's start with Boston City Campus and Business College. Started in 1991. Visionaries such as yourself out in Woodbank, you said, look, there's an alternative I can give to kids who can't make the grade with regards to their numbers to get into varsity, because that's what it's about, isn't it, in matric? You want to get those whatever points you need to enter university, and you filled that gap, so to speak.
Well, that was back in 1991. However, we've progressed quite significantly since then. And of late, we offer our own accredited higher certificates, diplomas and degrees in a number of different faculties and covering a broad spectrum of careers. And we also have representation in 45 centres throughout Southern Africa. So it's a very different landscape today from what it was in 1991.
Speak to us about the current scenario where you've got students, matriculants, who would want to start schooling. Firstly, your results are coming in later in the year as usual if you want to start higher education. Boston College could be an alternative, or any other university. What should matriculants do sitting at home now, not sure whether they even have a future and as far as higher learning is concerned? Can they come to you, and what should they expect?
Sure. So I think what's very important for any student, whether it's a matriculant or even students who are studying whatever they're studying and decide that they want to maybe change careers, it's very important for students to get career advice. And one of the things that we've learned over the years is that the more career exploration or the better career advice that a student gets, the better their chances of success in the future. So that's the one very important aspect. And in that regard, we assist students by providing free access to career advice and a tool called Career Compass, which is available at any one of the 45 centres. And whether you're a Boston student or not, that's not relevant. You're welcome to come and use the Career Compass to either get career advice or to do simply career exploration to find out what careers are out there, what are the requirements, how long does the study option take, and what are the future careers with that career path. So that's one very important part, is to get good career advice. The other part of it is to spend your time researching and building your own CV. Because at the end of the day, when you approach an employer, whatever your qualification is, at the end of the day, the employer is also going to want to see that you've applied yourself beyond your studies, that you've actually broadened your CV through either experience or research or whatever else it may be. So it's very important to actually build your CV so that you have something that stands out when you actually approach an employer. But interestingly enough, with the matric results coming out, I often refer to the matric certificate as what I call a multi-level passport. And the reason that I say that is because it affects either your employability down the track or your opportunity to study further. And one of the things that we know from statistics is that if you look at the total population of unemployed people in South Africa, 58% of them do not have a matric, whereas only 34% of matriculants are unemployed and 6.7% are graduates. So clearly, the further study that you take obviously improves your chances of gaining employment down the track. So that's critical in terms of just the stats, in terms of your future employability. Secondly, in terms of what that multi-level passport, that matric certificate actually tells you is also very important, because as you said earlier, it either gives you an opportunity to enter a higher certificate, a diploma or a degree. And what's pretty important is that you understand how that migration path actually works. So that if you, for example, have aspirations of studying towards a bachelor's degree, but you only achieve the higher certificate pass, you're able to enter into that higher certificate, gain exposure in that particular career for a year, and then use that higher certificate, if you do well enough, as a passport into a bachelor's degree the following year. And so I think that's pretty important, that you actually understand what does this matric certificate actually mean to you in terms of the type of endorsement that you have on that certificate.
That's the other question. In fact, that is a question I was just about to ask you, to extrapolate the differences, because some people sit there and say, but what are my options? And you can get certain employment with their higher certificate, a diploma or degree. It's then a question of what you want to do as an individual in terms of a career, and those options are available to you through your studying at your campuses. Is that correct?
Correct, and most importantly, as I said before, career exploration. Because another important aspect to think about is that in today's world, there's so many careers that never existed many years ago. So think about it, things like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, all of those careers never existed 10 years ago. Think of the companies that never existed 10 years ago. Netflix, Uber, Airbnb are all new developments. And so there's so many options available to students that I would stress the importance of actually getting good career advice and understanding the particular career path before you actually embark on that path.
I'm assuming with the current state of affairs, and as far as COVID-19 and the pandemic are concerned, you have also streamlined yourselves with the new norm, if I can call it that. A lot of people will not be applying for the hard labor jobs, but businesses are going to move to more online and to more working from home, so to speak. What do you offer in that regard?
So in fact, what's interesting is that we've pivoted our entire offering to be 100% fully online. And one of the things that was very interesting is that when COVID hit in March of this year and we went into lockdown, we made arrangements for all our students to gain access to data. We did a deal with one of the telcos and we got access for our students to data. And as a result, we had an over 90% participation rate of our students in our May exams and then again in our October-November exams. So we've pivoted everything towards an online environment. And I think what's pretty important to understand about an online environment is that an online environment isn't just simply lectures online, but it's actually an entire offering of a library that's online, support materials that are online, assessments that are online, feedback that's online, and of course the ability to be in touch with an educator who can actually support you should you run into trouble. So I think the new world has definitely moved online. COVID has definitely pivoted the working world and certainly the education space into an online space. And we have successfully navigated that space and pivoted whatever you're studying, whether it be accounting or law or hospitality or HR or whatever it may be, to be a fully online environment. So we're pretty geared up if there's going to be another lockdown or we hit a second wave. It's really not a reason to be sitting at home waiting around for COVID to pass. It's an opportunity, in fact, to utilize your time effectively and to get ahead with your career in an online environment.
What are the returns, Ari, if I can ask, with regards to what you're offering, and I'll say as compared to the mainstream universities? What are the returns from your students? Do you find that employees, or employers rather, do pick them up and scoop them up instead of students who have spent 5-6 years at universities? Because there are jobs out there. It's just a question of getting the right institution who delivers the right worker or student, if you want.
Correct. So I think the student needs to choose the environment that's most appropriate to him or her. So if you do a degree at Boston or you do a degree at any other institution, I think what's pretty important for you as a student is to find out what's going to suit your needs best and to look into the qualification. So one of the things that we've done besides going online to ensure that our qualifications align themselves with commerce and industry is we've included in every degree, every diploma and every postgrad a program called Workplace Integrated Learning, where the student actually has to demonstrate their ability to actually apply their theoretical knowledge in the real world environment. And over and above that, they have to show that they've developed things like critical thinking, adaptive learning skills, etc. And that has certainly enhanced our ability to place students in the workplace. The other program that we introduced last year, which has actually been pretty successful, is we introduced a program called Graduate Plus, where we said that any student that graduates from Boston with a degree or diploma, and provided they meet the criteria in terms of passing within the minimum duration, etc., we put them onto a 6-month program which assists in actually gaining employment. And if at the end of that 6-month program you're unable to find employment, we will pay for you to do a postgrad at Boston.
Founder of Boston City Campus and Business College, Ari Katz, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Good luck to you and your students for the coming year. It's been a stressful one. Expect all those applications to come through for 2021, hopefully.
Right. Thank you very much. Have a good 2021.
Thank you very much, sir.